Welcome back, everyone, to my weekly series where I introduce you to new games to check out on Roblox. This is episode 38. That means there's lots of other episodes for you to check out. I will link them on the top right as well as in the description. As always, any violent games, scary games, all that kind of stuff that might spook you, maybe something, not so friendly, it will be at the end of the video. So don't worry, it will progressively get crazier in this video. Special thanks to all of you who have recommended games, by the way. Without you, it would be really, really hard for me to find new games every week. So thank you for your submissions. If you want to suggest a game, you can do so on my Discord at discord.gg/dvplays, or you can just comment the game down below. So this week we have a lot of cool games for you to check out. Some of them I kind of got hooked on playing for a bit, a little too long actually. Starting off with a game called Bread. It is a really ragey game. In Bread, you are essentially Bread trying to find or reach the toaster. The toaster is your end goal, and you need to go through a bunch of obstacles. According to the maker, there's like 500 of these. So lots of content for you, but I don't even know if you're gonna be able to make it because I did actually rage quit playing this game. It's pretty funny though. They've got like different jokes. The animations are really cool. The controls are really good. Overall, if you like these style of games where you have to kind of do a little bit of a leap to be able to get to your goal, there's lots of games like this on Roblox already. Definitely check out Bread. I thought this one was a little special though. It looked really cool, and it keeps cracking jokes non-stop. Some of them are really annoying when you're mad. Our next game is called Void Fishing, and I'm pretty sure they pulled a fast one on us because this is actually an RNG game, but they didn't put RNG in their name, which I think is brilliant because RNG games are out, non-RNG games are in. But really, no, seriously, RNG games, man, some of them are really, really bad. But this game is another RNG game. Essentially, what you need to do is fish in the void, but it has a little bit of more of a simulator kind of mechanic. I'm pretty sure they got this idea from Bed Wars because literally the fisherman kit, you basically fish in the void and get stuff. But in this game, instead of getting like TNT or diamonds or emeralds from the void, instead you're getting various items that look like UGC items, and each of them have a value to them. So each time you fish something, you have an option to keep it or sell it. And in some cases, the stuff that you're fishing out of the void can be used to craft. So you might need like 3 or 4 different items to be able to complete a recipe. And with that recipe, you can make like a really cool fishing pole and such. So of course you can go into the shop and get better poles or fishing poles. You can get upgrades for your fishing pole. You can get various boosts and gear. So if you like RNG style games, definitely check this game out. It's kind of fun. Our next game is called Your Hospital, and it is 25 paid Robux access. So you need to buy access to get early. I don't know if they're going to continue to keep it that way, but it is an alpha phase. And shout out to Cosmic Comets because I saw he posted a video about this game and I wanted to check it out. Your Hospital is essentially exactly what it sounds like. If you've ever played games like Mini Cities or Itty Bitty Airport, Itty Bitty Railway, it's basically something like that. So it's a tycoon, but it's not your typical tycoon where you're running around pressing buttons and earning more money. It's not like Resort Tycoon or anything like that. It's more like a miniature builder where you can place different objects and you're essentially running a hospital. But there's a little twist here, and I don't know if it's kind of meant to be a twist, but you go around the city in your emergency vehicle and kidnap like sick people. Like literally, you jump out of your vehicle, you go up to a person, you strap them down on like a cart, and you kind of roll that into your vehicle, you drive them to your hospital, and then release them inside of your hospital. So they are essentially kidnapping sick people. It was, I don't know. It's got a little bit of a sick, twisted humor to it, I guess. But either way, I don't think that's the intent. I think the intent was that there's sick people in the city and you're saving them. But if you were to try that in the real world, I'm sorry. You're gonna get arrested. That's illegal. But maybe there should have been dialogue like, hey, you're sick, do you want some help? And then they respond. But yeah, hey, it's an alpha. You are paying for access to this game, so check it out. I thought it was great. Next up, we have a game called Here We Stay, and I saw this on Roblox Underrated Games on Twitter. Really cool account, by the way. They recommend games that are underrated if it didn't really spell that out already. But Here We Stay is a really cool story game. You're essentially moving into a new home in the forest or woods, and it's kind of slow. Like if you're looking for kind of like a chill, slow-paced story game, this game is pretty well polished. It felt good, kind of relaxing, not so speedy, not so action paced. It just slows you down and gets into a little bit more deeper storyline. Nice interaction elements. You got to like put away boxes. There's different tasks you need to do, and you get dialogue with your dad, and there's story to it. I didn't get too far, but apparently some stuff happens at night. I don't know if it's a scary game, so I'm sorry if I put a scary game up ahead. But it seemed like it wasn't really scary, but who knows, man. It might be actually a scary game. So I'm definitely going to circle back on this one and maybe make a video because it is really, really well polished. Seems really high quality. Definitely check out Here We Stay. Our next game I found on Roblox, and it is called RC Park. It's basically a remote control style game. And the nice thing about this game is most of the vehicles are already unlocked for you. That's kind of a downside too, because that means you don't really have as much to look forward to, but it's kind of cool. So unlike some of the flight games on Roblox, this game was a lot easier because you're not actually crashing. Like you can't really crash your vehicle. Like your RC is pretty friendly, and you get to try different, vehicles. There's all kinds of different airplanes you can use. There's rockets, there's blimps, there's all kinds of stuff. There's even like Navy ships and aircraft carriers for the, essentially you can float on a large body of water. Definitely check out RC Park if you like flight games. Our next game is called Detriment, and this one was really cool. It's essentially like a parkour style game. It started out kind of basic or minimal, and it just progressively gets more and more detailed. Like this is a massive parkour style obby game. I don't really even want to call it obby because obby is just so loosely termed these days or used. There's lots of dashing and jumping involved, and there's also wall rebounds, all kinds of different, kind of obstacles you need to take care of. And it looks like you have like a bit of a story involved too. Like your characters tends to sleep a lot, so it's kind of mysterious in some way. You're kind of run out of Bloxy Cola, so you need to go get some more or something. I'm not really sure. There's some kind of underlying story. I didn't get to complete it, but I really enjoyed the levels that I encountered. Check out Detriment if you like parkour games. This is also another game recommended through Roblox Underrated Games. Our next game is called The Pirate Game, and yep, it's pretty much self-descriptive. You're a pirate. In fact, it's a really fun game. So your job is to basically go around and visit different islands, complete different quests, upgrade your weapons, upgrade your gear. You're essentially living the life of a pirate. There is PvP in it. I did not experience it because I'm kind of too low level. There's lots of digging for treasures. There's, going around to different islands, killing skeletons that somehow are undead. There's like obbies that you need to get through, like kind of gauntlets, rather, not really obbies, but more gauntlet kind of stuff where you need to get through the gauntlet to be able to get the treasure. And there's also like ships, and you can upgrade your ships, and you can do all kinds of stuff with this game. It's pretty cool. Like literally it's a pirate game, and I'm glad they called it that because that's pretty much what it is. It's the pirate game. Really, really amazing looking game though, honestly. Love the style of the UI, love the style of the game itself, and the artwork, everything's top notch. So check it out. Next up, we have a game called Ray of Light, and this one is a match-based game where essentially you have to avoid the light. And how this game works is it is kind of like a match-based game, which is last person standing. At the start of the match, you're going to see basically a flare or a kind of like a starlight looking thing. And once the timer counts down, you're going to see different obstacles kind of spawn into the map. And wherever the light goes, you need to try to hide behind whatever objects that would block the light and create a shadow. So you're essentially trying to stay inside of shadows and avoiding the light. The light does move very quickly, so if it moves a little too fast and you're just standing in it and the rays can hit you, then you're dead, and then you gotta wait for the next match. So it is last person standing, like I said. I got pretty far in this one, but I kind of died because it gets a little difficult. There are different stages of like challenges. So like, for example, this match, you might be a bunny, and so you keep jumping. So jumping could actually make you jump above and get seen by the light. Likewise, there's like ice mode. So there's a challenge that could occur where suddenly the ground is icy, which makes it really hard for you to move quickly. So kind of an elimination style game, really fun. I like it, unique. Definitely check out Ray of Light. Next up, we have a game called Main Complex, and this one was kind of interesting. It doesn't even look like Roblox. It has like its own unique look. It's like the character didn't look like Roblox. The world doesn't really look like Roblox. Pretty much nothing looks like Roblox in this experience, but it looked good, so I included it. This game feels like a bit of a mix between like a parkour obby style game mixed with story and a little bit of shooter. Like you get a gun, like you start out in the game during the tutorial using a gun, and you don't really use it that much, at least through the majority. This is kind of like a fantasy style game. In the future, you're kind of in this like fantasy world. It's kind of weird. Essentially, you need to navigate through, try to avoid the lava. It's pretty friendly in that if you do fall in the lava or fall, to the void, it's not going to be a game over. Essentially, you just get spawned back at the checkpoint, and then you got to continue and try it again. I liked what I experienced so far in this game. Definitely worth checking out if you like games like this. And finally, we have a new shooter called Bloxel. This is a really cool, like, voxel style game, kind of retro in that the characters are real basic, very, blocky. Everything's pretty much blocky in this game. Your weapons are just really simplistic. Like, even the sniper rifle, you don't really have to scope it. You can no scope, although it's probably a little bit easier to scope in some maps that are really big. You don't really have to. It's a real simple, like, shooter. It's pretty forgiving. You got different armor that you can upgrade. You got different pay to win elements as well, so you could go and spend a lot of Robux in this game and get the best weapons and one-shot everyone if you wanted to. But it's very casual. So, like, if you saw the game Rivals, that's a pretty sweaty game, right? Like, Rivals is all about, like, skill. This game, it's a lot more friendly in that you don't have like sliding, you don't have any like skill kind of shot stuff. It's more just spam fest, but not to the degree of like a big paintball. You have to take your shots and you have to hit, and there's different like pickups you can get around the maps, like health pickups and armor pickups. So if you kill someone, you can go and pick up the armor. But more than anything, I really like the visuals. The game style looks really, really good. But check out Bloxel if you're looking for a new shooter.